Hello Cancer, welcome back to Misfits of the Zodiac. My name is Ace. I'm going to be doing your past, present, and future for the month of August. Let's get started. This may not resonate with everyone. This is a general reading, so just keep that in mind. All right, we'll start with your recent past. So, it looks like you are potentially having some sort of harvest coming in. So you have the Four of Wands. This card is talking a lot about crossing a finish line and receiving bounty as a result of a lot of hard work that you've been doing. Potentially could be in a relationship, because there are two people in this. This, for a lot of people, is kind of like a marriage card. You might be crossing into something relating to your commitment with someone else. You're taking the next step. We'll see what comes up in the rest of your reading. So far, it's hard to tell if it's that or if it's business related or just project related, and you're finishing you're crossing the finish line. So we'll see, but this is definitely a sign that what you're doing is working and you're about to cross the finish line. The next card I will say though, the Knight of Athmes, which is the Knight of Swords in the normal tarot. This card is asking you to maybe slow down a little bit. You might be seeing the finish line and feeling the need to like rush to the end, but sometimes with this card it can mean doing things too hastily and ending up making a mistake at the very last minute and kind of ruining the project or all of the work that you did at the last minute. So keep that in mind going forward. Try not to rush to the end. You've been steadily working along. You're almost to the point of your harvest. So keep that in mind. Again, this is your past energy, recent past energy. And it feels like some sort of wish is coming true for you. Sometimes this is a healing card, but in this particular reading so far, it feels very much like you're crossing the finish line on something that is big for you. Some sort of wish that you've been asking for, some sort of thing that is really important to probably little you, and is asking that you take time to relish in the fact that you got here, and to find balance again. Make sure that you're keeping your eye on the prize and not again going too fast at the last minute and potentially ruining anything that you have going. But this is a good sign that you are moving towards a wish or something that you've been asking for a really long time. So that's great news to hear. So that is your recent past. Let's do your current energy for the month of August. Okay. The Eight of Athmes, or the Eight of Swords, the Queen of Athmes. Ooh, and the Tower card. Okay. So there's a lot of energy going on here. You start out with the Eight of Athmes. So this card is all about, again, continuing on the path, but it feels like it's getting a little challenging. And you could be up in your head a little bit about where you're at or if you're going to get there. Try not to do that, because it could, again, wreck what you have going. So this is a good card to get for confirmation that you're moving in the right direction. But she is trying to find her way on a path that has a bunch of swords. Okay, the apples that you see in the depiction here, those are a sign that you've gained wisdom along the way. So you're using your intuition to kind of navigate, because in this card you're blindfolded. So this card is asking you again to follow your intuition, follow your gut, take it slow, but keep moving in the right direction, because you're going in the right direction. Okay. Your next card that you got is the Queen of Athmes. So this is the Queen of Swords in the normal tarot. This is basically you cutting through the BS, okay? But it could also be you finally getting clarity. So whereas with the Eight of Athmes, you have this blindfold on and you're kind of like trying to find the path blindfolded and not feeling like sure of yourself. This Queen of Athmes, she's very sure of herself. She knows what she wants and she's going after it. I will say that there's some sort of big change coming because you also have the Tower card. So that tells me that there could be a sudden change, a sudden shift at the last minute. Also, try not to, with the Ace of Athmes or the Ace of Swords, sometimes making a decision that's a little bit too much in the head and not enough from the heart could run you into a situation where you might experience a tower and something crumbling because it wasn't built on solid ground. In other words, everything came from your head and you didn't check in with yourself to see if it's what you really wanted. You have the Star card, so that tells me that you know what you're after, but you might get a little bit like thrown off with this Eight of Athmes if you don't follow your gut and you don't follow your intuition and then you go all in on something. You might run into a snag or something kind of falling apart that you didn't want to see. Again, we'll see in the near future where this ends up. But that's the vibe that I'm getting from this. The Tower card isn't always a bad card. It could just be like a sudden change, but it kind of throws you off balance because it comes in out of nowhere. Okay, so let's go ahead and get some of your future cards so that I can get a better read as to where this is going. Okay, you have the Two of Pentacles, Ten of Athmes, so the Ten of Swords, and the Three of Wands. Okay, cool. So, with this Two of Pentacles card, you'll see that there's like this storm approaching. There's also this tiny little fox back here, which might be a little hard to see. Hopefully, we might have to do an extra a card to throw into the video so that you can see it close up. But he's juggling two things, okay? So he's juggling potentially work life, home life, and even though the storm is approaching, he's built this barn behind him, so he knows he's okay. He knows he's safe. So I would encourage you to find the balance and trust again. Trust yourself. Trust your intuition. Don't make any hasty decisions. And it does feel like it could get a little complicated. Things could get a little complicated, and that might be this like tower energy. Might be that storm that's coming. So something could like come in, and whereas in the past it might have come and like completely wrecked the whole situation, you're finding a balance, and by you keeping that balance, you're able to like put an end to something that needs to like be cut out of your life with the Queen of Athmes. I feel that very much because it got upgraded to the Ten of Athmes. And this card is all about it's done, it's finished, it's over with, and now you're about to start anew. You're letting go of the things that didn't work anymore and you're moving on. So you might end up having this Tower card and kind of like feeling like you're losing your sight, you're losing your ground for a bit, but then after the dust settles, you're like ready to cut that out and move on to you finding a little bit more stability and more balance. And as a result of that, your ships come in. So you have your Three of Wands. For some people, sometimes this means something that's like overseas. So this might have to do with either a relationship overseas or a business venture that's overseas. But to me, this is in general for you, just that if you continue to move in the path that you're supposed to be, you find the balance even when it gets a little shaky, that you will get something that more than what you expected. Okay, so usually this card is a representation of what you can look forward to. He's put stuff out into the universe hoping to get something back in return, and not only did he get something back in return, he got more than what he expected back in return. So it seems like if you can get rid of anything that's not working with this 10 of Athnaes, a 10 of Swords energy, then you can work and transmute it and send something off so that you receive something better. Okay, that is the vibe that I'm getting for you, and that's in your near future. So to wrap this up, I'm going to pull a animal card from my Wild Unknown Animal Spirit deck, and I'm also going to pull an oracle card from my Wild Things Oracle. One more. Yeah. Ooh, I love this one. You got the crow. Very cool. I love the crow energy. And then let's pull a card from the Wild Things Oracle. This is, I like this deck because it kind of takes things that would normally be, more snake energy. You got welcome the unwelcome. So that might be the Tower. Accepting it, finding balance, okay? With the Wild Things, it kind of takes something that you would normally look at to be maybe a negative or not positive, let's just say, and like turn it on its head. And that's why I really like this that deck, because it kind of helps you move through energy that might be a little more challenging, which feels very in alignment with what could be happening towards the end of your month. So the crow. Spirituality, strong, creative, watchful. The crow has long been a symbol of magic. A crow personality is drawn to the supernatural and has a gift for seeing the unseen, knowing the unknown. It is said that the crow holds within its mind's eye the three realities, past, present, and future. Crow energy is potent and should only be tapped into when the mind is clear. Okay? Those with crow tendencies must balance their lives with a healthy diet, a joyful friends, and regular self-study. When in balance, you are psychic, strong, and clear. When out of balance, you are ungrounded and hypersensitive. To bring into balance, daily meditation practice. So crows are interesting, and they are sometimes looked at as messengers as well. I feel like your gut is trying to tell you something this month, and you're being asked to, while blindfolded, find the path. Crows tend to, when I get crow energy too, I feel like there might be like little downloads that you might be getting either from your internal self through meditation, or going out into nature and seeing symbols, like either an animal that has symbology that's close to you or makes sense to you, or maybe looking that up. Certain flowers, there could be things in season. Something that's capturing your attention could have some sort of symbolism with it that's going to help you when you have the blindfold on, when it feels like you can't figure out like what steps to take next, so that you can continue to move on and move through the energy. Okay, so that's the vibe that I get with that card. And then your last card is Welcome the Unwelcome. She has little snakes in her hair, so it's very Medusa energy going on here. And I like, it's number 45. I like the fact that there's this, like, again, a little moon in the background. You can kind of see here, hopefully you can see this. It's like a little moon up here. So those pesky details, the unwelcome news, the nagging anxious thoughts, they're a tangle of snakes we can't seem to shake, but nothing shows up in our experience that isn't on our side. Challenges happen for you, not to you. So again, that's that like tower energy. They're a gift from your willing soul self. The aim is to shape you into the person your soul wanted to become before you arrived on this planet. This can be hard to believe and even harder to embody, but your soul never draws experience to you that can't be used as a transformative process. Changing your perspective is easier than trying to change the world. See your circumstances as temporary guests in your life. As Rumi once said, being human is a guest house. Every morning a new arrival, a joy, a depression, a meanness, some momentary awareness comes as an unexpected visitor. Be grateful for whoever comes, because each has been sent as a guide from beyond. Again, that feels very much like your crow energy. Okay, so you might be getting some downloads, maybe even from spirit, if you believe in that, if you believe that people can cross over and give you messages. Mine comes usually as feathers being left for me. I have other symbols that come to me for different things. But be mindful for that too, because you're getting some sort of download that's going to help you transmute that feeling of, this feels scary, this feels hopeless, this feels, unstable with the Tower energy, and then start to be able to find the balance with it with the Two of Pentacles. Okay, so seems like it could be kind of a eye-opening month for you if you can try to stay out of your head too. Like, again, this Eight of Swords sometimes talks about being up in your head and like creating fears that aren't really there, like it's not actually present. If you can try not to let that happen, and you can be open to new things or symbols coming in for you and focus your attention on that, that can help guide you to the next step. Okay, that feels very much in alignment with this crow energy. I get the same kind of vibe from raven energy. So that is what I have for you for this month, Cancer. I hope that you enjoyed this reading, and I look forward to doing another one for you next month, and I will see you soon. Bye.